Hey there, Boots Owen here. This is a Good Ideas XPB20-88S. It's a little caravan twin tub is what I would call it. Probably a 3 kilo load, wash and spin. It's been a long day. I started off and it was almost working, and there was an issue with the timer, and now it's not working. So the spin probably still works, but the timer doesn't. And I was thinking about this and I thought, this is a terrible video, nothing really happens. But ultimately, I go into great detail about how the timer goes together, and if you watch the whole video, it might be interesting if you've got one of these and at some level it's broken, because there isn't much I don't cover in it in hindsight. So it might be worth watching, or it might not, and it might be a very long video, judging by the hours I've put in out in the garage this afternoon and this evening. So stay tuned if you want, or go and watch another video. So from above, it's another problem solved by Good Ideas XPB20-88S. Wash timer, wash selector, spin timer. So we've got a spin timer over here, wash selector drain, normal and gentle, and a wash timer going from 0 around to 15. Now it's a bit tricky because I don't think it works. So let's have a look inside actually. In here it's just got a little valve or a little hole on top there, just this little thing here where you can push water in through a hose, I guess. I'm guessing there's a drain out down below with a pump, probably a regular washing machine pump or a small one. It's the cheapest construction, it's all plastic. It is what it is. On this side over here, you've got a pretty positive action there. There's a switch, I guess, in behind here that means you really feel like you're opening the lid there. Wash mat or a spin mat and a spin tub that has a bit of flex in it. I think if I come over to this angle and pull this like this, can I see in there? It looks like it's got a drain out hole down there. Difficult to see, but it looks like there's a drain out hole, and it's got quite a bit of flex on that. So can we make it do anything? Let's close it. It's like a toy. I don't know if it's, 3 kilo machine or something. So that timer started ticking now, and it's doing a bit of spinning, a bit of washing. Top doesn't seem to make any difference to it. So it's just got a little thing there. So I'm going to put some water into it. Hopefully it won't leak everywhere. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to have a look underneath just to check. So that's onto the drain. It's on the drain selector at the moment. If you put it onto normal, it's still spinning here actually. And if you put it onto gentle, nothing. You can hear the timer clicking. Something happened there. Oh, it's doing something. Maybe it does work. Maybe it doesn't rattle as much. Stopping. I'm just moving the clock here, or the timer, with my hand. I've heard a micro switch click, and I think it's going the other way. So it feels like this is sticky, this timer switch. Yeah, it just runs out of steam. It might just be genuinely sticky, so it's just like I might need to just clean it, you know. I'll plug it out, it will turn it upside down. So I have it lying on its front here, power cord in, drain out hose coming out. It looks like someone's cut into this with a pliers or something, or a wire cutters to make a hole here and here. Wouldn't have any idea why really, unless it was to find out that there's some problem that can't be fixed. It looks to have a motor here, and it looks to have another motor here directly underneath the spin side. Let's get the camera off. So let's go off-road with the camera so we can stick it in. Let's see a bit more. There's a belt and pulley arrangement there, and a kind of a clutch arrangement. I'm gonna have to turn this a bit sideways to see. Yeah, it's some kind of an induction motor by the looks of things. A belt and pulley, plastic. I haven't seen the pump yet. Over on this side, it looks to be a similar type of motor, but directly connected. I can't get the phone in there. Directly connected. I can just about. You can see more than I can now. Push the phone right into the back of it. So yeah, that was in there on the left hand side. That motor appears to be connected here, here and here. The other motor, I don't know where it's connected. Maybe here, here and here. But they have different mountings, so it must be screwed from above. There's a little back panel with some plastic in it, so if we could get that off. This is badly corroded. I believe this was left in a wet cellar. Let's try that and get that cover off. I guess we'll find out if it works. Yeah, it'll do it. Just cut a new head in that screw. No, it's not coming out. Try this one here. Nope, need to go a bit deeper. Else we'll just get the head all mashed off altogether. Almost. No. So let's put this in here. So as it stands, it's not working, I don't think, so don't really stand to break it if it's not working. That screw has seen better days. This side should just pop off, I think. Almost. Right, well it hasn't, but... So in here, what can I see? Got something wrapped up in plastic. We've got a Bowden cable of sorts here connected to that lid. So if you can see right in the tip of my finger there, if I lift this lid, that cable is not moving. So maybe if I just give it a pull like that, yeah, almost. So the brake should be coming off. And then maybe it's just enough. It's moving by about 1 millimeter. It's just like a very, very cheapsy bicycle cable. There's a brake on that. There's a hub brake over there, or a band brake. This guy, I don't know what drives this little tab. Okay, so in this position, it's on drain and this has popped up a bit. So that must release a plug actually from here. That's why I couldn't hear anything on. It's just a plug coming out of here. And so I'm guessing, looking at it, that there is no drain pump. It's all just gravity drain. So this must be like some kind of an airlock thing, I don't know. Or an overflow, perhaps, is what that is. That's probably an overflow. I can check that. So if that's overflowing here, it just goes straight out. So it won't work unless you're using it in the shower or something like that. And then what's this guy over here? Some kind of something that's fallen over. What is that? Can you see that? It's like a black thing. Let's see what it says. 3 microfarads. So some kind of a capacitor. A double capacitor or something like that. And it's sitting in a little pot over there, so I'll try and get it back in position with my hand from below. Oh. Maybe that's a motor capacitor. So it looks to me like we've got a switch issue. I wonder what's in here in this plastic. I don't mind if I find out it's just a plastic bag. It looks like a load of connections. That looks like live and neutral in over here. Just a splash guard really, that plastic bag, and that's held on here, so I could replace that if I felt so inclined. Don't know if I will. Okay, so when you're using it, so then I guess the draining is done manually. The hose must be hooked up here when it's in use, otherwise it'll leak all over the floor, and you just let it out lift it outside or whatever when you're finished, I guess. So let's put that onto normal or gentle. And what I'll do first actually is, I wonder is that screwed from below. I'll try and pull off the knob here. Let's just try and pull this knob off, because there it is. Maybe the knob was making it sticky. There's something bit of plastic in there. Is it meant to be there? It's lazy as can be. It's like a little brake on it or something. It's all dusty and grimy. Now maybe it just needs some persuasion. Put that on the wrong way around, I'd say. Right there. So it doesn't look like the knob's affecting it. It does seem to be ticking better now, if that means anything. Let's put some water into it. Just that bit of playing with it seems to have revived it a bit. Let's put some water in and see what it does. What I have yet to do is check the operation of this spin side. So that's it open, that's it shut, so it should be ready to go. It sounds like the motor's on, but the capacitor's not working. So it won't go and I can't get into it. Might be seized. I'm trying to get it to turn, so I'll just turn that off. We'll stick with the washing machine side for now. Seems to be working. And I've got a couple of dirty rags. It is giving him a good old twist and turn there. I'll get some more water on it. Sounds like the timer's given up again. Okay. Looks pretty good. It's giving them a pretty good go. It looks pretty good. It's giving them a pretty good go. Quite efficient, that I would say, for a little cheap plasticky thing. It's getting stuck again. So it's just gone that way. The timer's a bit lazy. Now it's going that way, so that's pretty cool. So it spins both ways, or it's washing both ways. It went one way and now it's gone the other. It stopped again. The timer's a bit of a dud. Maybe it needs a spray of contact cleaner, WD-40 in it or something, just to, might have some old like dried up grease or something like that. So let's put it onto main wash, or normal I think it was called, and I'll just move the timer by hand. don't know if it's any more aggressive. Oh, it's moving more quickly between... It's moving more quickly between the actions. Yeah. Quite an aggressive little thing. The suds. The suds have just come off the cloth that's in it. It stopped again. This timer here is a dud. So then, let's check this drain function. I've got a strange angle on it to try and show you everything. We're still live. Got the plug still in. If I turn it to drain, in fact I should have turned it to normal again. Let's put the pipe down. So there's water coming down, if you can see that. Put my toe on it there so you can see what we're doing. It's not normal. It still has water in it. So I'll turn to drain. And drain does seem to be opening a plug and working quite well, in fact. So I'm operating the timer, helping it along, and it's still agitating while the drain. Still agitating while the drain plug is open. Almost drained out now. So you can kind of force it back. It doesn't really like it. So it's just this. So it's just the spinner side left to figure out. So it's switched off at the mains. If I open that, I can't really turn it, but if I pull this cord, I still can't turn it, so it looks like something's seized in here. Oh. Something's moving now, both ways. It may just have been a seized brake, in fact. So let's try energizing it again. Let's see if it'll, so doesn't feel like there's any brake on it there. I don't know. Let's give it some power and see what it does. May just have been seized. Oh, we're off. It must have just been seized. So let's turn that off. Open this. Put my rags in there. Put my spin mat on them. Let's try it without the spin. No, it does need to close. It does need to close the lid. Oh, there it is. Doesn't look particularly fast. It'll vibrate if I don't hold it. It's vibrating, but it's noisy if I don't hold it. So it might just have been stuck, like the brake was stuck and the motor didn't have the power to overcome the seized brake, but I could do that by hand. That's pretty good. And the brake does work. When I opened it, it calmed it down, and they're not not dry, but they're not as damp as they were. So then it's just this timer. I've unplugged it again. It's just this timer that's causing confusion now. So if I pull that off, there's no screws underneath it. Yeah, there's no screws here. That's a selector. Pop it back on. So this little bit of plastic, this little white piece of plastic in here is the stop. There's a little T-bar going through it. That's the stop, so you can't go over 15 minutes, I guess. Now, where would that be? Let's try and get into this. Oh, I better drain it out first. I was looking to see on the back where that overflow pipe comes from. It comes in here, but this, it doesn't just come to here. So there's a slot cut in this plastic right up here. So it must be that if the water level's washing over that level, it'll go down and fill up this bucket, and well, this bucket here, and then out the hose, presumably with well, unrestricted. I guess it's some kind of a mechanism to leave a bit of a margin for error. Now, but the wash timer thing is my issue now. So I'm going to dip this camera in here, and I can't see any screws that hold this on. So I can't. There's something there. What's that? Looks rusty. It could be a screw with a cover on it. No, I think it's a molding, a plastic molding thing. So I'm wondering if I pop all the knobs off again, can I just snap this top off, because it is a separate piece of plastic here. I'm not worried about breaking it, you know, that's my attitude to things. Let's pull off these knobs. Very stuck. So underneath there's only 4 cables going to the unit. So I presume there's a live in and then 3 lives out. 1 live to the spinner and then 2 for the different normal and gentles. Now, how to get this off? Snapping it? Maybe? I don't really want to damage it, but I don't really care. Yeah, it looks like it might just lift off or something. See little plastic in here. I can see a little plastic tab, so popping it does seem to be the right thing to do. So pop it and hold it up with my other hand. There's one tab here, there's one tab here. The whole thing seems to be coming together as a unit, cables and all. So I don't know, does it must presumably pop. Oh, sounds cracky. There's a tab down here. I'm guessing there's another one somewhere in the center or just over here. There it is. They're more like locators. And then there's 2 grooves here and here, and these snap in here. So a DXT15. That's quite a snazzy thing, a DXT5. So I'm guessing 5 is 5 minutes, 15 is 15 minutes. Makes sense to me. There's rust on the bottom of that. What can I see there? Not much to get in there and spray it. I think that would be tricky. I didn't need to take the knobs off, actually, now that I noticed that. I'm just going to put it back together, I think. Okay, if I can. There's a micro switch. That's something I hadn't seen. There's a micro switch here. In fact, it's not a micro switch, it's just 2 pieces of copper, and the one below is put into contact with the one above. Whenever the lid closes. It's quite rudimentary. So it's just manipulation to put this back together, I think. Yeah. That's it. Snappy snap. So if I could get in there A spray of something might do it, but there's a little washer. Is it? What is it? A bit of rubber? I'll give it a bit of a spray. Plastic and oil don't often mix, but in this case I don't really care. Push that back. It looks to be the same knob on all three. Yep. They're easy to refit then. Yeah, it looks like you can just override it. Maybe not. It feels like a clutch just broke in there. So I guess I'm going to have to go in now. That was a bit foolish. Yeah, there's must have been a coil spring or something to drive it back home again, and that's just popped off. Right, screwdriver time. Back in here. That was a mistake, but you will learn from my mistakes. So which way was it? In and out, out and in. There we go. Snappy snap snap. It is unplugged. That's safe enough. So can I get in here to unscrew that? Looks like it. Phillips head. A little bit rusty, but it's just how it is. So I don't know then if you can force it backwards again. I don't know, or if you do turn it off, you have to leave it to wind itself back internally or what. Get this knob off. And the back should fall off for me like this. Okay, and then I can take a look at this. Whether or not we can fix it is anyone's guess. So the screws on the back of this, 1, 2 and 3. Well, one of them looks okay, the other two look a bit crusty. Oh, wiped off a sticker with a number on it there. So what's going wrong here? So there's two reed switches in there. You can see a copper switch here and a copper switch, 3 of them actually. There's 2 switches on this side, top and bottom, and then 1 switch over here. This is a bit of a nightmare to try and take this apart. It's got a little cam action thing here. It's got a little thing to trip the direction, I think, over there. Why would it have stopped camming? And can I get a screwdriver in here to open it? And if I do, it doesn't really have spade connectors. I can't disconnect the thing. It's all connected to its neighbor. Oh dear. Right, let's try. Oh no, it's not going to open. Oh dear. It was going so well. So I've got 1 screw I could probably release. Did I? Yeah, 1 screw will release. I'm kind of imagining that if I just look at it for long enough, it'll come back to life, but So that should be it winding up, and then it should pull itself back this way. But it's like it's stuck on something. And I can see this piece of silver here is a spring. I'm guessing there's a clock spring that goes from there all the way through to the inside, and I'm guessing that's broken, or that's me winding it up. It feels perhaps like I've torn the teeth off a plastic sprocket. Could that be it? If it is, it's a crying shame, because I was going to say this machine's pretty good. But that is the epic fail of the day. Well, I guess I'm going to have to get into this. I guess I can just cut the cables and put a strip connector in there because they're color coded. It won't be difficult. Yikes. I did not see this coming. So what a mess. What a mess I've just got myself into. Let's put that up there. I've gotten a screwdriver that's a better fit in these. There's a crust of yuck on top of these screws. So if I could get it rid of it, I'd stand a better chance of getting in here. No, not great. The option is to drill them off, of course. Spinning, get a bigger one. Now, so the other option is to get a Dremel, cut it through here on the outside. That should allow it to pop open. So there's no question in my mind but that I have made it worse. But it wasn't working correctly previously, so... I think a smaller one would be better. Smaller grinding disc. So I'm making too deep a cut on either side. What I really want is one that's half worn out. I don't think I'm going to find that. Try this. That's that one. It's very efficient. It's nice when something works well. Okay, screwdriver then for the last one. Now I'm guessing I've thrown a load of snots inside it as well. From a clockmaker's point of view, make you quite sick and upset. Now, how am I going to get screws like that? So, is this going to come apart for me? Yeah, I've thrown a load of dust into it. The reason I've cut it 1/4 of an inch up is that I'll be able to hopefully slide or unscrew this with the pliers. Whether or not that is true remains to be seen. It's just broken something. It's not looking great, this one. Let's try tapping it. When I take the screws, if I pop it up, when I take it apart, is it all going to fall apart in my hand? I think it is. How would you even assemble it? I'm guessing it's assembled on the clear side. Right, well, we're not getting any better. Worse. Is it snapped shut somehow that I can't see? I don't think so, because on the screw side it's okay. We'll put that in there. I'll put this one in here. How about that? I'll work around. It's coming now. Or not. Yeah, that rust is really bad for it. Oh dear. This is really more of a kitchen table type job where you can keep an eye on things, right? So that's it. Loose now, ready for the spring to go spring. So I think is that coming like that? I'm hoping is that, no, it's come off, has it? Yeah, it's gonna go. What's gonna go though? There we are. So what have I destroyed? What's the issue here? Have I broken the spring on the back side of this fellow? Let's lift that out. Keep that in there. Lift this one out. I don't really want to take these guys out, do I? Lift that one out. And while I'm at it, let's get a pliers on here and see if I can get these screws out. Nope. Okay, it's going to be a tape job at the end. I'll leave that one in as a dowel then. So the issue is here somewhere, that this cog, whatever it was matching up to, this ratcheting mechanism, is it? Yeah, so there's a dwell there. That's it, off. That's on. Okay. But there's nothing pulling this back, so this is the issue. How to get this one off. Like that. I'm guessing that these pins have to drive through. You're still on board 10 minutes later. I'm going to struggle to get them out. What's this? It was, as I suspected, a rubber washer. So yeah, if I could get that up, I'd be able to see. Have I broken a spring? Or has it just jumped out? So I will have to get this pin out to be able to see what I'm doing here. And that is going to be tricky. Let's try. At least there's not as much rust on this side. It moved. Now, how to drive it out the rest of the way. I could try wiggling it. No. It needs pushing through with a drift of some description. What could that be? Take those two pins out as well. I don't fancy losing them. No, I'm not going to clean this, you know. How am I going to clean it? Yeah, I just have to get this pin here out. So if this works, it'll be quite amazing, but I'm feeling this pin maybe a bit bigger than what I've got here, and it's resting on plastic at the back, which isn't ideal either. You know, these things just aren't meant to be worked on like this. No, that's not budging. I'm gonna damage the plastic on the back there. So I've put the little vice grips on it and I'm just working it back and forth. Oh, I felt a spring movement there. Yep, the spring within is broken. So it's the same as a lawnmower strimmer pull spring, or one of the pull cord thing. Usually when I'm making videos, taking them apart is the bit that I do. I don't really do putting them back together very often. Now, There's a hook on the end. I really need to get the next one out too, don't I? Right. Got a bit more reach on this side. That's it. It's not as bad as I thought, actually. I'll leave that pin in there. So this will come out. That's an aluminium shaft. There's the broken spring. It's got a little plastic hook that it rides on. It just has a little hook in the end. This is just a clock spring. I think, given that the Dremel is here, this might be the answer. When all you've got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, I think is the old phrase. But if I go with this now, look, if I pull this out, it'll want to keep coming, will it? Oh, don't keep going. Don't keep going. It's stuck in there now. See if that'll hold it together. I've put it in between the two plastic bits. Yeah, so that's just completely worn out. That might have failed anyways. I'm not too worried. Can I grind a hole into that the same as that little slot? Well, I guess I can try. Still have no idea how I'm going to put this thing back together. I'm getting somewhere. Quite a long slot. Not that long. Could have turned it up more. Not big enough. So I'm hoping I've opened it up enough to get this on. I don't know. It's a bit hot from the grinding process. Yeah, that'll do. So I've made a hole in it. I've never wasted so much time before in my life. All right. Now, how to hook that on here and then wind it up. Oh, and there's a rubber gasket thing that was probably the cause of all my issues. So I can't get anything in there, so I'm wondering, should I open it out? Try and rewind it the other way? Maybe that'll do it. Ah! Just keeps going. Hook this on, if I can. Come on. Oh, this is doing my nerves in. Right. Start again. What's going on here? It's all in a bit of a tangle. Right, that's the spring. For fuck's sake. That's the spring. I would say that that's a bit tighter than this, so I wonder, can I... These things do not like to be bent. That won't stop me doing it. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work, but might work. It's got to be tighter than that. There is an awful lot of energy in this spring now. An awful lot. But it is staying together. It's really fucking sore. Not tight enough yet, so I'm gonna have to try and... This is such a nonsense. What I can do is put this one back in. I wonder, could I just have wound it in from there? Maybe that's how you're meant to do it. See, that spring seems to be caught out here for some reason. It's not centered or something. Is that it? Is it in? Go on, in. Great. Okay, so now I need to hold this tight. Take this pin out. Still with me? The rubber washer on that I didn't do previously. I'll give it a clean. Should have done that before. Put this pin back in. Half and half. Now, I need to figure out how much tension to put on this one and push this one back in, because it'll rest against this plastic shelf here. In fact, let's... Oh, to have 7 hands. What's going on? I'm guessing too much tension and it won't time correctly. So better let it out a little bit. Oh! No. It's jumped off the center. That's what happened before. Pressure. Okay, take that out again. We're going to get there. So it can't jump out if it is not on. It's mighty sharp as well, this spring. I need it to be able to be picked up by the, or held on by the timer thing somehow. So I'm wondering, will that catch? Probably not. That might do it. What do you think? Gasket. I would just like to see it going, and then I'll throw it out. If I can get it working, I'd just throw it in the bin. Okay, now will it pick it up? Let's put this pin, no, that one can't go in yet. Let's put this one in, try and pick it up. There's an awful lot of slop in that as well. So I'm hoping this thing will, there it is, it's picking it up. Don't fall out. Okay. So now we need to get some tension onto it and get that last pin in. I've put 3 loops of tension on it. I wonder will that do it? Delicate. Okay. I need to drive this one in a little bit more. Doesn't seem to be possible. And this one in a bit more. That's about right. Now this one. So that's it there. So it's timing right. It's turning correctly now. To turn that all the way up to the last. It's quite a lot for the little plastic guys on the inside to be able to deal with, I think. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. How can I... Whoa, too far. Come back. About there, I would say. Yeah, about there, bearing on the plastic. Sheesh, that was a nightmare. Reassembly is the reverse, I'm guessing. Good luck with that. So I have two little pins here. Go in here. There it is. So let's lift up that column, which must go on the side with 4. Yikes. Okay. This one drives the cams. At the bottom, the cams at the bottom. Come on, there you go. Lift them all up. Slide this right down. Ah, this one's chopped off the wrong side. Get back in there. See, you're better off doing this at a clean desk, aren't you? That's not where I'm sitting. It's raining. It's raining outside. Okay, not like that. Is that a start? I think this one went on top. Did it go back in there? Did it go like this? Yeah, so it touches it just for a minute. Okay. So this one here, it's gross. I've got to go in that rain. Where did that go? No idea. Bit of hair stuck in there. Great. Oh, I have this one to put in here somewhere as well. Guessing that goes like that. And what was driving it? It's got this fellow here. I'm gonna have to watch the video, I think. That was a screw. This one, what was it doing? Is it in here? This side? Like that. Riding off this cam, and that looks about right. That looks like a flyweight to me. I've got a long and a short. I'm wondering, should the short be on there and the long over there? They're both the same length. What do we think? They are. Not much good to me there like that. I think I found the problem here though. After all this, I don't think it's going to work because this plastic wheel here is missing a couple of teeth. Just in there in the center, it's missing one tooth. And that's where all the forces were ultimately transmitted when I wound it back. So, abandon ship or keep going? That can't go like that. Does that one go on there? This one in here. It's a larger shaft. Think like this. How to get it in between these two now? I think it does. I think it goes there. Driving off this one. I think. I don't know where this one goes. Right, gotta go. Are you still here? Am I back again? I can't remember how this goes together. Right, nearly there, maybe. But don't hold out much hope. It is just like a clock mechanism inside. I wonder if this one goes under this one. I can't see what would make this thing here click though. That's what's confusing me. We need something to make it do. It looks like it's about right. Just need something to, as I say, make it click. So I wonder if this one here doesn't appear to be attached to anything. Which doesn't make any sense. So I wonder, should it be higher up to be attached to that one up there? Maybe. So I wonder, should this one here be that way up? Let's take that out. Somehow get this one in. I think I have to take out this pin. Now you're watching this and it'll be like really obvious, because somehow whenever I'm editing the video, whenever you're watching the video, if you're just watching it, these things are really obvious. But when you're doing it this way, so does this one rest on here? That's what I'm thinking. Does that give it the distance to stay up? It doesn't really. And that one, oh, it looks like this one should be down lower. That's what's going on. Not entirely clear what this one's meant to hit off. Well, that's just going to get stuck there, so that's no good. Oh, this is terribly confusing now. Right, so that one can come off. This one can come off. This one can come off. Can this one go back on? It's got to go on under this one somehow. That's the tricky bit. I can't pull that one up, so I have to pull this pin out of here, put it in here, push that. No, it won't, because I have to, that bush there is the spacer. How would I do that? Because that's connected to the spring. I don't fancy hitting this yet. I can't just bend it over, you see. So how would I get that in there? I don't know. Maybe it goes even higher like this. I have a feeling it doesn't. I think that bush is meant to be between them. But they're equal height now, so maybe I'm wrong. Oh, go back in. Go back in, wherever you came from. Oh dear. Where's this one just come out of? Right. So they're equal in height now, so maybe that's right. Maybe it's in upside down. Looks wonky. That's... Alright, well, so then does this one go here? I don't think this is meant to be here at all. I think this is meant to be here. Like that. I can't get it to go in here. Doesn't seem right either. I think what I'm looking at here is the reversing mechanism bit. So it goes one way or the other, one way or the other. Has a piece fallen out that I haven't seen? Is that what's happened here? Some kind of a dead fly or something there. Gross. So I'm wondering, should this be... Like, that clearly engages with this. Oh, I don't know. So I resorted to looking at the old video, and I think this thing here has to go on this side after all. How to get it in there? So that holds it on this way, and then it latches in on the other side. And this thing must click it in or out somehow. I don't know what that does underneath. If that was a bit higher, it still won't. You can only latch back as far as the pin, in fact. Tricky. I can put it together and try and wind it up. So now I've got to get these guys out. It's made a right mess there. So I think given that the screws are going to be stuck in there anyways, there's not much point in trying to pull these apart. So just trying to line up the wires before I slide the top down. There we go. Something just doesn't seem right about that metal plate in there. It can't do anything the way it is. Let's try and turn it over just one more time. No, then this latch won't hit it correctly, but it would hit the edge of it maybe. Does not make any sense. That might be right. Moves back by a tiny fraction. Can't see any other way of doing it. This one's popped up a bit. Right. And I'm not convinced that that brass bush is in the correct place either, but what am I going to do? I think I'm happier with that than I was before. Get these wires back down. Oh, this one's jumped out of somewhere. Here we go. Now it's all resting on this one that's sticking up way too high. It just won't go down, but now can I take it apart without making a mess? This one's riding too high for some reason. How could that be? that's lower. That looks about right, but can I get that one above back on it now? You see, this is the issue. This one won't go in here. How can I get that in there? Because this fellow here, oh, maybe. Will this come off? I think it'll have to for me to get it on. I don't see any other way. So then, put my finger on this white piece. Need a screwdriver to get in under here. Oh. Is it rising up? It is. It is rising up. It's got a load of white snots on it. Done, right. Right, this one, like this. That bar is lower. This one, like this. This is how clocks are meant. They always go back together quite easily if you know what you're doing. It's rarely the case for yours truly. So that's why that won't go back. It can only go forward. What makes this one? That one doesn't seem to be out far enough. It must have a nub up here that it rests on. And then this one should just go back like that. And then this one has to click out. Can't see any more pieces. Are we there yet? Might be. Wires. I think I'm going to leave this in completely unedited. So there it is. There's a point at the end of this piece here. Pushes down. Seems to be just this one here that's struggling. That sounds good, does it? It's like we're almost there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right. Nothing. Which way does it go? This way. there's no solenoids in there, so the fact that it's not electrified shouldn't matter. It should still go tick-tock. Oh, something clicked. See this one here? Now we're at the full 15 minutes and nothing's happening. I don't really understand what this wheel here does, but it looks like if it was further down it would engage with this rocking mechanism. Now, the issue with taking this apart again is that bits I don't want to move are going to move. Right. That's the no, something's happened there. I don't know what. I don't think it broke it. Yeah, this is meant to be an escapement, and I've got it upside down, I think. The issue is I've charged it with energy now. So, is it going to try and pop on me? I think this is upside down. I think it should be under. I think that's just meant to oscillate like that based on this plastic escapement. I think this needs to come off. Clunk. Alright, the escapement can't work if that's not there, so I'll take this one off as well. When I was younger, I used to play with clocks. This one's got to come off. I think this one goes like this. It needs this to be pushed like that. Then what? This one back on. Now it might just not work again because of that broken thing. I don't know if we got it right or wrong here. You can see that. It's working now, the escapement. Something isn't clicking into place. The other option is that there isn't enough tension on on the spring after I thought there was, but I think this is correct now after all this fucking around. Let's wiggle this guy back down. Wiggle. It's going in better this time. Okay, so something is broken there. One of those cogs is just plucked off. Can't see it here but I think it's the cog between. Let's go in and have a look. The cog between this main one. Cog between this one and there's a little one under here, and I think that's what's skipping. So to get in there, take this one off, take this one off again. Come on, this one. I don't even know if I've examined that one, it's so far down. Pull that out, slide that over. No, lift this off, the escapement. I want to get this one up again. No, they seem to be, this one seems to be mating here. I don't know if that's the first wheel or what, I can't remember what these things are called. Lift that out again. Yeah, it's this one here that's dead. It's all chewed off at the side. He's still there, 20 minutes. I can't do any more with this. There isn't any point in putting it back together, really. That one there is chewed out. And it isn't going to work. And that is my fault. What are you going to do? Scrap. I hope you got this far. The one thing I didn't address, and I thought about it in the interim, is that if you want hot water, you have to put in your own hot water into the wash thing. I guess you could still use it as a spinner, but this mechanism is dead on account of a tiny plastic cog. I'm going to try to replicate what just happened, but I put it all back together again just in case. No, it ran okay for a few seconds. There. But then it's getting to a point in the cycle and then it's just snapping shut because it's maybe not, maybe it's going to work, don't know. You can see the relays, not relays, but you can see the contacts opening and closing. Then it does that bang, snaps to the end because the cogs aren't engaged anymore. One of the interesting things about the escapement that I hadn't thought about before as well was that it should only work if it's level. So it'll work upside down completely or on the flat completely. But an escapement like that, it can't really work like this, I don't think. So let's just give that another go. No, it's pooched. Okay, maybe it would work on its side. Don't know. Oh dear. Thanks for watching. See you later.